Hey friend, Erin Chase here from $5 Dinners, and I want to show you why you should be chilling your cookie dough. There is a scientific reason for this, and I'm going to actually show you the difference in baking cookies right away versus chilling the dough for 24 hours or freezing the dough. Either one works. Giving time for all of the ingredients to basically like gel together. Gel is not the right word. Come together so that when you bake the cookie, you get that perfect end result. So I'm gonna start with the cookie dough. I have the sugar and butter already in my mixer right here. And I'm gonna just get this going, and I'll show you a bit of the cookie dough making process. Definitely start with softened butter, room temperature eggs, and I am gonna make a gluten-free version so that the gluten-free eaters in our family can enjoy these cookies, but it's the same end result with the fluffiness, the perfect crispy edges, gooey middle, I should say crispy edges and softer middle. That is the perfect cookie that we're looking for. That's why the cookies from the store are absolute perfection, or from the bakery, because the dough has chilled. I know it's hard. I know you don't want to have the patience. I know you just want to have them right now, but I'm going to show you why you need to wait. So let me get the other ingredients in here. I will be right back once we get to the dough forming, and then we'll go through how to chill this dough. Okay, I am going to show you how the cookies compare baking half of this batch right now and then chilling the other half and baking it tomorrow, so that we can compare from the same batch the difference in the cookies. Here we have our dough, and I always tell, I just give it a little tap, and as long as it's not sticky, it is ready to have the chocolate chips or whatever other mix-ins you're adding in there. So I'm gonna get those in there, and then we will get to setting these cookies up to bake and to chill. All right, I've got a little half and half situation going here. Some minis and some chunks. So let's get those mixed in. I'm gonna just do it on the lowest level. Sometimes I'll fold this in, but I'm gonna just go ahead and mix here. I'm gonna just start scooping my ice cream scooper. We'll just do one tray to bake right now. I usually do pretty full. I know you're supposed to be able to make 3 dozen from a typical, but I usually end up doing like 34. My cookies sometimes are a little on the big side, is what I'm getting at. This dough is very, very, very soft. I can already tell that there's gonna be a difference between how the chilled dough bakes versus the, sorry about the scraping. Get this set aside. The oven's preheating, so I'm gonna set this aside to bake here in a minute, and then I'm gonna show you how I do the dough for the, okay, for the chilled dough, I basically just do the same thing. Parchment paper, freezer paper. This is just a silicone baking sheet. I'm just gonna put this whole thing in my fridge in the garage. I do have room. If you need to use a smaller space, you could just do like a small piece of parchment paper, but you're gonna get close to 2 dozen dough balls. So make sure you have enough room if you're using a smaller. I'm just gonna use this because I have it. Okay, so we are going to chill this dough. Some chemical reactions will take place. And then when we go to bake it, it's just gonna, they bake different. They bake better, they just do. This can go fridge or freezer. Either one, it doesn't matter. You can bake from chilled and from frozen. Please note that the baking time will be slightly different if you're doing that. I usually add 1 minute for chilled dough and 2 to 3 minutes for if I'm baking from like semi-frozen. I'll try to set it out on the counter. They do thaw fairly quickly because these dough balls are pretty small. If you need to, just keep an eye on it after the, I would say 10-minute mark. Keep a close eye on it as it's baking. But we're gonna just bake at 350 for 10 to 12, 13 minutes. I've gone up to 13 minutes. I don't think I've ever needed to bake a cookie that was chilled or frozen longer than that, but just keep an eye on it after that 10-minute mark. Scrape this down, not with the ice cream scooper, with the spatula because it's being very loud, and the spatula just does such a great job of getting all the dough. I don't wanna leave any of this behind. I think we have about 3 more here. How many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, I told you I don't, I don't ever make 36. I think this was 33. No, 12 plus 21, 34. Of course, more smaller ones, bigger ones, whatever you prefer. You'll get however many you need. Okay, so I am going to now take this and just put it in the fridge for 24 hours. I will probably just put a light piece of plastic over the top so nothing dries out. And then we will be back to bake these tomorrow. Okay, here we are, fresh out of the oven. I accidentally smushed this guy as I was getting him onto the cooling rack, but you can see there's a little, my camera is pulling in a little bit more blue light, but then is actually here, this is a little crispy and this is a little gooey, so these are looking okay. But we will compare to the chilled batch tomorrow. Okay, here we are, our chilled dough. You can see I can't really squeeze it. Nice and chilled. I'm going to transfer this to a baking sheet. I just started preheating the oven, and we will get these baked and then compare to the ones that I baked yesterday. Two sheets are ready. The oven's preheated, and we're going to get these baking. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and then I'll keep an eye on them in those last 2 minutes before they should be finished. Again, it takes a little bit longer when you are cooking from chilled or frozen, so just keep an eye on it in those last couple minutes. Here we have the difference. These are piping hot out of the oven. They are taller. They're just taller. Let me see if I can grab. So the ones over here were baked yesterday, and you can see the ones here. See the height difference? I'm trying to keep the focus on that front ones. They're just puffier. They're fluffier. I'm gonna let them cool down, and I'm gonna break them open and compare them side by side broken, but you can see a pretty significant difference just from the top shot. But also you can just see they have that crispier edge, and they're gonna have that soft, gooey-ish middle. Here we have the non-chilled version and the chilled cookie. And I just wanted to do like a side-by-side for you. There you can see the difference. Chilled on the right, not chilled on the left. You can see that little extra crust layer on the bottom and just this ooey gooey. You can actually see like the ooey gooey middle. There you can see another version. Unchilled on the bottom, chilled on the top. Now you have proof and reason to chill your dough, or at least part of the dough if you don't have the patience and don't want to wait for your cookies. You know, they taste just the same. They just have a different end result, different texture, and different crunch and gooiness to them. You can find my favorite gluten-free chocolate chip cookie recipe and chocolate chip cookie recipe in the description below, so be sure to check those out so that you can save, print, and pin those recipes from the $5 Dinners blog. All right, it's bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.